Premier Doug Ford, he's in Melton today, and he's making a housing announcement.
From planning and land acquisition to engineering, environmental assessments, this highway will reduce travel times by 30 minutes each way, saving drivers up to more than an hour per day on one of the most congested corridors in North America. Now I know another long-standing priority for this region is bringing all-day two-way GO service to the Melton GO line. Our government has made progress. We've added new trains, improved stations, and increased the number of trips. But the people of Melton need more. They deserve more. That's why we've called on the federal government to join us in a cost-sharing partnership to build a fully separated passenger rail line so we can finally make two-way all-day GO a reality. We're ready to go. We need the feds to get on board as we move forward these massive infrastructure projects. We're working closely with Mayor Krantz and Council to build more homes. Last summer, we introduced Building Faster Fund. This new fund is a 3-year, $1.2 billion program that will reward municipalities for making significant progress against housing targets. And today, I'm pleased to announce that Melton not only met the 2023 target, but exceeded it by 27%. So Mayor and Council, thank you. Last year, Melton broke ground on 1,952 new homes. It's just amazing. Just think of that, 1,952 families are going to have an opportunity to call Melton home. So today, it's my privilege to present the town of Melton with a Building Faster Fund for $8.4 million. These funds can be used by the town for infrastructure projects that lay the groundwork for more housing and community development. This check is a testament to the hard work of Mayor Krantz and Council and staff. We need other municipalities to follow their lead. So once again, congratulations. We look forward to continuing working with you to build more homes and to build the infrastructure Melton needs to move people and the economy forward. Thank you all for joining us, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Now, I'll hand it over again to the longest-serving mayor in the entire country. Mayor, over to you. Thank you.
Well, Premier, thank you very much. And again, I had mentioned earlier on that I'm from the old school, but I know the prompter there had my remarks there as well, but I'm going to read them exactly as I see it. Good morning. I'm pleased to be here today on behalf of Melton Council and, of course, welcoming Premier Ford again to Melton. Welcome also to the Honourable Minister Calandra. Premier, we are grateful that you have made time in your schedule to visit our town, and especially when you arrive with funding for our community. We are even happier to see you. Minister Calandra, I thank you for your continued work and collaboration with municipalities and, of course, the mayors. We made yourself accessible, and we appreciate that. Thank you for the $8.4 million from the Building Faster Fund as part of Ontario government's commitment to support housing infrastructure and community growth. As you noted, the town exceeded our annual target in 2023. This is due largely to Council's strategic growth plan that pre-approves the right land use in the right places in our core urban growth areas, and the dedication of our staff who every day work to streamline processes and approvals to enable the collective efforts of the town and the development community in advancing housing in Melton. Melton is one of Ontario's most rapidly expanding areas, and we remain dedicated to cultivating a diverse housing landscape. I know I've mentioned this a few times in the past year, but I'm proud of our team and their performance. Melton was recognized by BUILD as the fastest municipality to approve development applications and building commitment in our municipal role. Provincial Homes Faster is shared priority at a local, provincial, and federal level. Thank you, Premier and Minister Calandra, for your ongoing support of municipalities through legislation and funding. Again, thank you for today's funding for our Melton community. And again, Premier, as you had mentioned there before, council is very important. I have some of my elected colleagues here with me now. And I said many, many times, of course, to some degree, tongue-in-cheek, I take all the credit for things when they go well. The team that I work with can take the blame when it doesn't. It's a great partnership. Premier, thanks for that partnership with the town of Melton and the region of Halton. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mayor.
We'll now go to reporters' questions. If you could please line up with the microphone behind me. Please identify yourselves by name and outlet. It'll be one question and one follow-up.
Good morning, Premier.
Good morning.
Thank you. Sinead Dougal with the Trillium. Jamil Javani won Durham for the federal Conservatives earlier this week. He was an advisor to your government a few years ago. In his victory speech, he said Liberal elites are betraying the working people of this country, including the Liberal elites who run the Ontario Ministry of Education in this province, implying Minister Lecce. What's your response to this, and are you worried about federal Conservatives railing against your ministers like this?
Yeah, I'm not worried about Jamil. I gave that young man an opportunity. He showed up. No one even knew who he was. Came in my office. I gave him an incredible opportunity. To be very frank, you go to root cause, he wouldn't even be where he is if I didn't give him that opportunity. So I just want to wish Jamil all the best. He should focus on maybe the carbon tax. Maybe he should come in. I'll give him a couple lessons on how to speak to his constituents and that. But he should really focus on things that matter to people, saving people money, putting money back into their pockets, and focus on the carbon tax. We're doing great for the people of Ontario. We're going to do great for his riding that he's going to represent. I want to wish him all the best, and hopefully he wins that riding.
Just switching gears a bit to the Autism Program.
Yes.
The minister's transition binder last year, it indicated that under the current budget for the program, the government would be able to support 20,000 kids in core services. Yeah. According to an FOI we filed, the government had nearly reached that number as of the end of December, with around 17,000 kids enrolled. What happens once you reach the 20,000 kids? Is the government considering increasing the budget for the autism program so that more kids can get into core services?
Yeah, Minister Parsa has done an absolutely incredible job. It's up to 20,000 now, and we've increased funding since I took office. I'll never forget the first few weeks that file had zero money in it at all. We've increased that fund probably 2.5 times. We're going to continue supporting families that have children with autism, and I talk to families almost every single day. And we're doing everything we can to support them. We're going to continue doing that. I want to thank Minister Parsa for the great work, because every call I get, I speak to the people, then I forward it over to Minister Parsa, and he has a good conversation with those families.
Hey, good morning, Premier. Colin DeMello with Global News. Talking about the Building Faster Fund in Melton specifically, you said that Melton exceeded its targets, but about 190 of these new homes were actually long-term care beds. Not homes, but beds. There are people who agree with your decision to count long-term care beds as a home, and there are some people who disagree. I just want to know from you, how can you consider a bed to be a home?
Well, first of all, Colin, thanks for that question. But when a senior is living in a condo and moves out to a long-term care, it's called a home. I challenge anyone to go in and talk to these seniors and tell them they have a bed and not a home. They have their own room. They eat in a dining room with everyone else, and the house or the apartment they moved out of just frees it up for some younger folks to buy it. So these are homes. Again, I challenge anyone to go in and talk to these seniors and say, hey, you got a bed. We're building homes. We're compared to the previous government. Let's put it in this perspective. They built like 608 beds in 15 years. We're building 30,000 homes and renovating another 28,000. And again, these are homes. These are their own rooms. They aren't stacked up 4 to a room like the previous government had. And I'm just so proud of the great job Minister Cho is doing on long-term care.
Thank you. On auto theft, we took a look at the numbers from Peel Region, And in the first the first 2 months of the year, there were 1,433 cars that were stolen, despite the $18 million that your government had given Peel Region in November of 2023. So the money that you gave them, it doesn't seem to be working. Are you disappointed that the car thefts in Peel Region have not decreased in the first couple of months?
Well, Chief Nish has done an incredible job. All Peel Region police are out there going after the criminals, but there's a kind of a few-prong approach here. Number one, the Montreal port that they're being shipped over to. We've asked the federal government to enhance the number of border officers there, and hopefully they're going to do it, put more scanning machines there. Part two is these police officers go into high-risk takedowns, and they're putting their lives on the line, only to see, and the criminals, when they catch them, only to see that the criminals mock them, saying, I'll be out by the time you start your shift tomorrow, because they know the judges are giving them bail. Just imagine how they terrorize the neighborhoods, going in, kicking in doors, putting guns to families' heads, hand over your keys, smashing windows, stealing goods. You know, I had a friend call me up the other day in Etobicoke and said, thank goodness my mother was away because these criminals actually broke into her condo and stole everything they possibly could, and just terrorizing these neighborhoods. I have a message to all these criminals. We're coming for you. We're going to catch you, and you're going to jail. And no matter what it takes, every tool I have, including making sure we have judges that do not let these people out on bail. When I go out, I go out, be it the local store, the gas station, anywhere I go, every single person, every person is saying, keep going. Get judges that will keep these criminals in jail, stop terrorizing our neighborhoods, stop terrorizing our families. I'm coming for you, and when I get you, you're going to jail, and I can't wait. I'm going to put every resource we can to catch these criminals that are ruining our communities.
Good morning, Premier. Liam Casey with the Canadian Press. Speaking of jails, over the last year, the numbers of inmates inside have surged incredibly. They're well over capacity. Averaging 113% across the province. Just down the street, Maplehurst Jail, 134%. Guards are struggling. Times are tough right now. If you're going to keep catching all these bad guys, where are you going to put them all? Are you going to build more jails?
Yeah, great question. I'm going to be building more jails, and I'm not worried about the criminals. I always support the correctional officers there. Making sure that they have the resources to keep these criminals behind bars. But I'll build as many jails as we need to put these criminals behind bars for a long time as well. The heinous crimes they're committing, and the stories I'm hearing is terrible. I've seen videos of them trying to run our police officers over, going full steam at them. Numerous videos like this. I just want to give a big shout out to all our frontline women and men that are protecting our communities, and I have your backs, and I'll put every resource I can, including building jails, to keep these criminals behind bars.
So I've talked to a few guards over the last week, and they're really struggling. PTSD rates are way up, stress injury, moral stress injuries are way up, even suicides are up. They want more guards, more full-time guards. They say Minister Kersner's 1,000 contract worker guards is nowhere near enough. So they need more space, so there's less inmates and more staff. Would you commit to hiring more guards to help out the frontline guys who are struggling?
Yeah, I talk to the same correctional service officers, maybe the same ones you do, maybe not, but I always have their backs. I'm always going to support them. We'll sit down with the Solicitor General and follow through with the commitment of making sure that there's more cells to keep these criminals in and supporting our correctional services officers. We're building the first mental health and addiction facility in North America to support correctional service officers, first responders, frontline officers, firefighters, and paramedics, and correctional service officers. So we're the first in North America to make a facility or put together a facility up in Caledon. It's going to be spectacular. We're there to support them and their families, and I want to thank them for the great job that they're doing.
Good morning, Premier. David Lee, Milton Canadian champion. Quick question. What was the Milton housing target for 2023 and what number did they actually achieve?
Well, I'm going to hand it over to the expert, Paul Calandra, but I know one thing, they exceeded their target, and I'm so proud of the mayor and the council and the staff. They all play a critical role in making sure they hit their targets. It's one of the fastest growing regions in all of Ontario. And again, it all starts with leadership. And, you know, the vast majority of the mayors, they're all hitting their targets. The ones that aren't, they have to look in the mirror and ask why. And we're there to support the communities. It's a Team Ontario effort right now, but I'll pass it over to Minister Calandra.
I'm embarrassed to tell you.
Well, we've been listening to a press conference by the Premier in Milton making a housing announcement, announcing $8.4 million for the region for exceeding its 2023 housing targets.